How are you today? Well, last night we had the snowstorm. I don't know if you saw the video of my baskets, but it is quite cold and our furnace isn't working, so we are using the heaters. Oh, this has been a thing for a while now, but so anyway, we got home late last night, so I have dishes to do and some straightening up to do, and then I was going to start doing some videos, but I have these dishes to wash, and usually my sink is nice and clean. Fly Lady always told me to keep my dishes clean. I don't know if you read the book by Fly Lady. Let me see where I can put you here. I don't know. I'm going to put you, because I surely can't do dishes and hold this in my arm, right? Okay. Let's see what I'm going to do here. Ooh, I think I'll be able to use this. I had a couple recipes that I wanted to try out with you guys that I never did before. I don't know if you saw my cake in a can of pop. I don't know, can you see me there? My cake in a can of pop recipe. So at least I have the skylight here to help with my lighting, at least during the day. So I have some dishes here to do, as you can see. I don't know if you can see them. No, I'm not the camera person, but just a little bit of dishes because we got home so late, and I just said we'll do it later. Fly Lady won't see. Shh, don't tell the Fly Lady, because you're supposed to have a sparkly sink in the morning. But it's a good habit to get into, to keep dishes, clean, to not have anything waiting for you in the morning. So let me get a towel here, because I put most of the dishes in the dishwasher, but there's certain things I don't like to put in the dishwasher that I just hand wash myself. So how are things going? Are you all making your numbers? Are you watching me take a break from the stresses of getting those numbers and those hours? I don't know. How are you doing? Your new channel, or if you have a older channel, or maybe you don't have a channel at all. Hey, that's cool. I tell you something about myself here. I had a channel, I don't know if I told you this before, probably did, 15 years ago, and I enjoyed that channel because I made so many friends, and we all 200 of us decided to get together and go to Philadelphia, and we booked out the whole hotel out there. And then some people live there, so they let people stay with them at their houses. But if you wanted privacy, you could get your own room. Then we rented the disco lounge or whatever it was back then. And we had like food and dancing, and there was a bar, of course, for everybody. And it was nice. Like, there was no drama, and people were, nice to one another. And back then, it wasn't all about monetization on YouTube. It was just about developing the community of people that were like you, or that, you were interested in their lifestyle. So I still have, the majority of those friends are still my close friends, but I don't think that they necessarily do YouTube anymore. It kind of just fizzled out. I guess their kids got older, and then they started living life themselves. So it was a hobby back then, but now they don't have time for it, which I can totally understand, because that's kind of what happened to me. But I love watching YouTube, and like I said in my other video, I don't necessarily have one niche that I watch. I'm not like, oh, I have to only watch DIY, or I have to only watch newcomers or old comers or whatever. I like the DIY. I like learning about doing laser because I have a laser machine, and that's one of my businesses I'm trying to start. But I have to learn the laser machine, and I don't have a lot of experience with computers, so I have to learn all that. And it's hard when you're from, I was born in the 60s. I graduated in 83. You do the math. I graduated high school, then I went to college as an adult. Went back to college when I believe I was 30 when I went back to college. So I already had a family. I already had children. And it was tough going back to school. So when I put my mind to something, I do it. And we had to do without a lot with me not having an income. But my husband was very committed to me getting my degree. So much so that he went back to school and started a degree too. And that's one of my big things when my kids got older was I stressed how it's so important to have an education because that's something that no one can take away from you. But now that my kids have gone to college and they graduated and they have their degrees, and most likely they don't do what they set out to do as their degree because they, when you say, I'm going to do this when I get older, and then as you start learning about it, you get like, I don't know if this is what I want to do for a living. Like some people set out to be a doctor and then they learned, I don't know if I want to be a doctor. This is like too involved. This is kind of scary. You're being, responsible for someone's life and things like that, especially if you want to be a surgeon. So a lot of people change their major in college. I saw a lot of people. And you know what, too, with me going back to school in my 30s, there's a lot of people that looking at this. What's this old lady in our class for? Why is she an intro to English? Why is she in this class? She has to be in her 30s, and we're all 18 years old. So what happened was a lot of the kiddos, because that's what they were to me, decided they wanted to be in my group because they thought the old lady is going to do all the work for the projects, and they can just go out and play all night while Sally D is doing the project because, Sally D takes her grades seriously. And that is what happened. But after the first time, it wasn't going to happen again. I was like, look, everybody's going to have a job. Everybody's going to do what they have to do. Because I'm not your mom. I'm not your friend. I am a grown-up, and I want to get my degree. If you're serious about this, then you could be in my group. But I wasn't looking for popularity. I was looking to get an education because the faster I get my education, the faster I can get a job, right? So a lot of these kids didn't see it like that because it was like more or less like their first year in college and they were party. And frankly, at 30 years old, I already had all my partying time. I already had my beginning of motherhood and things like that. Because when I was 23 years old, Daryl and I both were 23 years old. We had a 9-month-old baby, and we were renting a house. And I said to Daryl one day, I said, we're like giving money away. We're just, more or less doing that. That was my philosophy. So let's get our own house. So we did. At 23 years old, we bought our own house. We did. And we were already married 3 years because we got married. It was 5 days after my 20th birthday. We were both 20. So we got married, and everyone thought that we were pregnant, but we weren't. We were married for 2 years, and I wanted to start a family. Daryl was scared. He always doesn't really change. But we had our first son when I was 22, and we lived in this rented house that we had. That was our second home together, and we bought a house, and we lived there for, let me think, I don't know, like almost 30 years. Yeah, because we're coming up on our 40th anniversary in June. So yeah, we lived there all that time. And I forget what I started talking about. Gabe needs to be let out. Hold on one sec. Play in the snow. Sorry about that. I know that's kind of rude to do that. Now he's going to be out there barking. But anyway, I just wanted to get these dishes done and talk to you while I did that. So I have some really fun things that I wanted to do on here, and I'm hoping to get some of it videotaped today because it's just the dogs and I. And I'm caretaker of my brother who's 9 months younger than me. He's 58 and he had a traumatic brain injury. But he used to live with me after mommy died, and finally got him into his own apartment, and he's like maybe a 14 or 15-year-old. I mean, he's an immature 14 or 15-year-old. Now he can do his own bills and stuff, but if he needs help, he calls me. So it's nice to have, our house was just Daryl and I, because we have a 2-bedroom house, and it gets a little crowded after a while because we bought this house probably 5 years ago when I came back from Idaho. So that's another story. I was in Idaho teaching. I was working with the migrant workers from Mexico, and I was teaching the kindergartners. So I was there for almost 2 years. But anyway, we'll go back to that another day. I'm gonna get them let out and get things set up to start another video. Okay? Hey, thanks for helping me with the dishes. I appreciate it. I hope I wasn't making your ears hurt with the water and all that. I know I'm going to learn a lot with this editing and things like that. I want to learn how to do the voiceover and things like that too. So I got to let them out. Now someone else is crying. Liberty.